Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing some federal elections here in Canada, and so you wanted to say something else.
Yeah, I just thought there's a lot of people who are complaining that conservatives have now it's a majority government, and it's okay if you don't understand what that necessarily means. But I don't know. Just because of that, I feel like I should have voted, but I don't know, next time I think I'm gonna vote. And there's probably gonna be a whole bunch of people why?
Well, it's an issue, and actually it's funny that you mentioned the whole Facebook feed thing, because I read on my feed a discussion between different people about the idea of apathetic Aboriginals versus, the idea that, because you're Aboriginal you don't vote, you don't care, or because you don't want to be associated with Canada, or there's so many different
foreign government.
There's so many different ideas that people have about why Aboriginal people don't vote. And personally, for me, I'm uninformed. I don't know anything about the elections. I understand that, Canada's government is going to have control over my education and the things that I do. I understand that, but I don't vote because I don't know anything about the elections.
Yeah, and that's something that I didn't know either. I actually didn't know there was an election going on until about maybe 4 weeks ago.
It actually only started in March. There was some kind of vote passed by the other members of Parliament, the other seats, the other parties, and they wanted to have an election.
They called for an election.
Yeah. So that's what I started. When I started seeing the campaigning on TV, that's when I started to kind of do my research, start reading the articles that are were on CTV on their Twitter feed and stuff like that. And I still don't feel 100% informed, but I guess that makes me want to be informed for next time. Mm-hmm. And at least if I don't end up voting again next time, that I'm informed about it. But I guess that wraps up that conversation on federal elections. And now going to our own government, the MCK had announced last week that it's looking into, or that the Mohawk Council table. I can't formulate my sentence.
They tabled the idea of doing research to look into
the preliminary research into land-based gaming.
Community land-based gaming.
Yes, and that was passed in the Mohawk Council, so they're going ahead, their team or whatever, to do the first phase of research on this. And so I just wanted to talk about gaming and I guess how youth feel about it. And I know it's a big topic too.
It is, and to be honest, I'm not sure I have a solid opinion on it at this point, because, first of all, I have no idea because there's nothing set in stone, because they're in the research process, and because I was too young to vote in the referendums in the past.
Yeah, the first one was in 1994, and then the second one is 2003.
Yeah. And so I don't know exactly what the benefits of it are, what the downsides are, to be able to say that, I agree or disagree with this. I mean, and at the same time, I don't feel like it's really going to affect me, because I don't, but I can't really say that because I don't know.
You just don't know.
I don't know.
I think there are also too many, wow, I lost the word. There are too many problems, no, I still lost the word.
Well, I know there's some people who are really mad that the MCK is kind of doing this, I guess, not behind people's backs, but they just decided we're gonna attempt number 3, even though they tried it 2 times before, and the community clearly said no in the referendum, or one of them was a close.
But if and actually it's funny because I saw this within Concordia when they were doing, the different referendums for increasing some kind of an expense that we'd be paying, and just rewording, making it sound more appealing. They just keep trying to push the same idea.
It's not a casino, it's land-based gaming.
And I mean, I guess for some people that really, like, at first I didn't understand what that meant, because I remember there was the vote for the casino and people had their signs that had said casino.
There's
with
some
a big,
still around town too.
yeah, with like a big, like the X through it saying, no, we don't want that.
But there are also, okay, this is what I was going to say. There are too many issues to concern. Corinne, you said you can't have one objective opinion about it. I think there are too many issues at play. You have to look at the image. There are many ways the image can go to community members on the MCK because they want to institute this land-based gaming, or the image from the Quebec and federal governments and how they will view MCK in putting this gaming into action. There are personal issues with social community issues such as gambling addictions and whatnot. There are job issues, job opportunities. Where will the money be going to it? I know they say that the money will be for the community, and I do believe them in that sense, but to what extent?
Yeah, like the press release that was sent out concerning that their research that they're only going to go through with like a mandate as long as it like follows like certain criteria, and one of them is that it's kind of like the body that like regulates this casino it's going to kind of be like an extension of the Mohawk councils, and it's like a separate treasury for it. Mm-hmm. And I think that kind of deals with the problem that, you know, people are always there's a lot of mistrust with the MCK among community members, so they think that like, oh, they're just gonna, you know, pocket the money to themselves, and like it's not gonna be like who's really going to benefit from the money? Is it going to be like these individuals, or
what I see from this, coming from the idea of a casino or the land-based gaming, however way you want to put it, is that I think that an industry that can create jobs and can and will put the money into social organizations, including education, including the hospital, including any organization that needs money that will benefit the community. I think that those two factors, jobs and the money going back, are two positive things. Now, whether that will actually come out of this or not is up for debate.
There's also like the question, like, why is it always a casino? I'm sure there's other economic development, I guess, ideas that can do such things that isn't something that, you know, Quebec and Canada thinks is illegal. Why is the idea always a casino? Why can't does no one else have any ideas?
Apparently not.
Because I mean, like, there's like the idea for the wind farm that Dewadumizakta invested in, but I think why they're going to gaming is because it's like quick money, fast, or so they say.
Well, I mean, gambling in general is all about money.
Yeah.
So you're putting money into, like, people are putting money into win money. It's just all about money. And that's the ultimate, what's the word I'm looking for?
Goal?
No, the ultimate industry for money, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And then another reason why there's people who are against it, and well, going back to the money, that is I think the biggest benefit to Ganawage, because like you said, there's all these programs and organizations that are like so underfunded, and we need money. And
but even just with the threat of like federal funding for education, is it federal or provincial? I don't remember. But the funding for education, with the threat of that being taken away, there's another thing that would have to be looked into. Mm-hmm. Because especially with the number of students that are going into school now, like post-secondary ed, you know, there's a lot of people that can't afford to pay for it, who are still going anyways. So if that funding's taken away, we have to kind of make up for it somehow.
And that's what they were telling us at the last Ganawage Youth Forum, that the reserves that have, I guess, smaller populations but a casino, that the casino pays for their schooling, so they go on to, like, you know, they go to university, their masters, and, like, you know, increase higher education. So that's one of the benefits. Mm-hmm. But I guess we'll talk about the more benefits and more cons, and our feelings about online game. Well, no, land-based gaming, and we'll get into online gaming and all that after the break. So stay tuned.